Yeah, let's just dive in, brother. I'm gonna hit the desktop.
Yeah. Show me that sweet D&D Beyond.
Right,
There's
you
so
see
many
this.
options, and you're like, okay, even on this homepage, which as a web designer, I will say, not the best designed homepage. I see lots of room for improvement here, but a place where you're going to start is fairly obvious. It's one of the first things we all read in the Western world, left to right. Oh yeah, so Matt there at the bottom of the screen, or if you scroll back up to the top, one of the first things you see is on the left there, create a character, and that is where we're going to go. So
That's where we're going.
yeah, and so you're immediately presented with 4 different options. Let's look at the pre-made first.
Sure.
This is relatively new, and the first thing that struck me for people who are total noobs is that it gives you the chance to visualize what a character might look like. Because if you don't know anything about D&D at all, you're like, okay, well, what are even the possibilities? What would they look like? What would they be like? And you just can get easily overwhelmed. Plus, I thought it was cool. Like it gives you a few different races and a handful of classes. Not every combination, but kind of the most popular ones. Pretty much anybody can visualize. Close your eyes and visualize what an elf looks like. Either you've seen elves at Christmas time. You've seen Keebler elves. Maybe you've seen Lord of the Rings. And in which case, if you've seen Lord of the Rings, then maybe, dwarves and orcs and goblins and stuff. You've got an idea of what those things might look like.
Basics.
But if I said the word tiefling to a total neophyte, they'd be like, what's that? So this immediately for me, I don't know about you, I just thought, okay, this at least gives you an idea of what some of these things even look like in this universe.
Side note, I started calling my wife Tiefling instead of Darling.
Nice.
We find it very cute that Evan and his wife call each other Darling, and so I started saying Tiefling, and she had to come to this. She had to come to D&D Beyond to see exactly what a Tiefling was.
Of course, you can always Google something, but
yeah, of course,
But this is just a nice way, and it goes a step beyond. It gives you this first page here is just the race and the class: elf, rogue, Githyanki, fighter, etc.
Let me do.
Yeah, maybe don't. But there's another. Yeah, do
Okay.
that tiefling warlock. There you go.
All right, great. Oh, interesting. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
they've
cool.
already
it's one.
They've named it for you. You don't have to think about anything. I don't have to choose my race, class, all the important things that you have to make choices on. Having a pre-made means you don't have to do any of that. Not even the name. You're gonna play a character that someone else has created with all the stats and stuff taken care of. All you have to do is show up at the table and use your imagination, and that can be nice. It can also be nice to like show you, if you're kind of just shadowing. It's almost as if you're shadowing someone. Like, okay, how did they do it?
Right.
And now all I have to do is figure out how these tools work, and I don't have to worry about anything else.
Yeah.
And it may be an easy way to learn. Okay, well, I don't know what I didn't know what a tiefling was. Now I have a better idea. And what's a warlock versus a wizard?
Right.
We don't really know yet what the difference is. We'll get into that later.
Also, I would say another beautiful thing about D&D Beyond and these character sheets is, what if you don't know what chill touch is? Well, I'm going to click on this, and this very nicely done side panel pops out. I know it's a little tough to see, but it tells you instantly. And then you click off.
Most things are interactive. You can click on it and get some
interactive,
context about it, which is really great. I mean, in the old paper and pen and books days, you had to literally go into the player's handbook and find the table and find the charts and find the spells and do all the things. And if you forgot something, you'd have to, now all of that stuff is right there at your fingertips,
Right.
just a click away.
Yeah.
One of the kind of cool thing.
I was going to say, Cass is instantly overwhelmed, but we understand, because it is a lot of numbers, it's a lot of color, it's a lot of things. But if we start at things like you just click on and and you generate a pre-made character. So what I've done here is this button called Manage, and this gentleman's name is Stray. But what should we name this character? Because you can change that immediately, making it more yours. And if you kind of, this is also an ADHD thing. If you break it down into tiny pieces, then you start to kind of I can comprehend this and this. But if anybody wants to name this guy in the chat, we'll start there.
Okay, you created your own character. And you could rename it. You can do all that stuff if you want. You can play it as is. All of these numbers and stuff, don't worry about it, especially when you're starting a game with your DM is going to hold your hand. You're not going to need all these numbers and stuff all the time. You're going to need a few of them. You're honestly only going to use a handful of them most of the time.
Right.
The spells and stuff, all of these little details, they're not going to come into play at every moment of every game. You're going to be able to figure it out as you go along, and it's always safe to ask questions, either from the other experienced players with you, or your DM should always know what's going on and can tell you what's up. But I totally get that looking at this, you're like, okay, what? Don't worry about it. It's not important. It's really not important. Later on, we're gonna get into what some of this stuff actually is and what it means. But for now, just know all you need to start playing is this.
Yeah.
Click that button.
This is it.
Pre-made. This is it. Now I'm ready. I've got a character. Great.
You're done. And then you find, we touched on last week how over and over and over how important it was to find the right people. And those right people don't have to be people that know how to play the game. There's one person. Seriously though, there's one person that has to know how to play the game. And that's the game master. And that person is, as we mentioned, much harder to find generally. When you do find them, then you as a player, at least right at the beginning, you don't need to know what these numbers are as much, because a great dungeon master is going to say, just click on this, or click on that, or give me this, or roll this and add this number. And that's gonna again take just an enormous chunk of
you don't have to worry about it.
You don't. But yeah,
if you do,
that's it.
One last thing before we move on that could be helpful is in terms of, so you've created the character sheet, you're playing a pre-gen character, but you still want to know a little bit about who they are or who you'd like them to be. Now you can just again, you can play it as it's made for you and just kind of practice getting into that. And there's a little tab over here that says
notes here.
And most of these pre-made characters have at least some kind of backstory to tell you a little bit about them. And that way it'll tell you like, okay, this is a warlock, and they have these, they value these things, they don't value those things. It'll just give you a place to start your imagination going, and then you just take it from there and just make stuff up. But I thought that was just another nice little feature that all of these things are just made to get you started. So
right, and you can add to that and change, because Happy also loves apples, especially Honeycrisp, right?
Happy apples.
This is how you're building your backstory, and that's all fun. That's the fun part of this.